Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Do-do-do, do-do-do.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la.
How sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim shevet Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum.
Whoever you are, you belong here. Welcome. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Wanderers, worshippers, lovers of leaving, it doesn't matter, this is not a caravan of despair. Come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. 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 Wanderers, worshippers, lovers of leaving, it doesn't matter, this is not a caravan of despair. Come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come.
Oh, that's me. My copy had, okay, somebody else. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm so glad. All right, maybe I just misread. It's great to be here. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everyone. We're so glad that you are all here. Welcome to those of you who are here in person and those of you who are here via the live stream. I'm Rabbi Michael Friedman. So pleased to be joined by Rabbi Zach Pleasant and Rabbi Lana Nemitov Bressler and our cantor Julia Cadrain and our musical team this evening as well.
David and Mike.
David and Mike, we're so glad that you are here. Mike, of course, you're a mainstay. You've been here longer than any of us. Almost literally longer than any of us. And Dave,
This month, 22 years.
amazing, Mike, 22 years. And Dave, much newer to our congregation. You've been with us a few Shabbatot. Third time. So welcome to Temple Israel. And some of us as well here are new to Temple Israel. So we are so glad that you're here with us, either in person or, as I said, online. Let's take a breath. After this week, this tumultuous week in each of our lives filled with triumphs and sorrows and disappointments and small victories, we bring them all to this place as we prepare to welcome Shabbat. So, who has not lit the Shabbat candles in their home in a little while? Because we would like to invite you. You don't have to say anything. The mon shines. Come on up. You don't have to say anything. You're just going to help us strike a match. And as Jews have done forever, for generations, just light a little candle with that match and bring a little bit of light into our world, which sometimes is so devoid of light. Page 120.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik
Friends, forever, we have begun our worship with music. Even in the days of the temple, the Levites who attended to the divine service did so by singing psalms and hymns. And then more recently, although still a long time by our standards, 500 years ago, the rabbis in the Galilee and Sfat, mystics, developed the practice of singing Shabbat into our lives. Why begin with music tonight or any other night? It's because music has this power to open us up, enable us to shed the armor that we don to get through every day and access what's most important, what's inside. And what is inside of us, perhaps more than answers, is questions. So, through our music this evening, we invite you to allow the notes to open you up, the words to access your soul, and open your heart to the questions within.
Page 130. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la la. Lechuna ranina, lechuna ranina. Riha letzur yishenu mekad mafana betoda bismirot nari alo bismirot nari alo ya la la ya la la ya la la ya la la Page 134. Bechino, bechino, bechino,
We welcome a guest at this point in the service each week, our Shabbat beloved, who comes to dwell within and among us. Imagine our beloved coming into this space and maybe taking a seat, maybe here or there. We take a breath as we welcome the Shabbat beloved with Lecha Dodi, pages 138 and 139. We'll sing verses 1, 2, and 5, and then we'll rise and face the entrance of the sanctuary for the 9th verse.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Likrat Shabbat, Lechu v'necha. Kevod Adonai, Allah yifnida. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uv'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, Boi chala, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kana, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela.
Music has the power to open up our questions, open ourselves up to questions. Also, conversations open us up to questions. Who are we speaking to? What might we want from them? What questions come from various conversations we have in life as we go through our days? As we turn to page 146 for Baruch Hu is our initial conversation with God. Are we ready to pray? What is God asking from us? What are we asking from God?
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Please be seated. The poet Rilke wrote, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves like locked rooms and like books that are now written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer." As day turns to night, we sit with our questions. Wherever there is uncertainty, we can find comfort in the knowledge that we are one community connected across space and time, people in this room, people on the live stream, people joining at some other time that is not now. And just as we are one, united, echad, so too is God. We turn to page 152 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech u'shokvecha u'kumecha u'kshartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. Our song of freedom and redemption is on page 158, and maybe up there is a guitar pick, but maybe not. Okay, thank you for looking, Rabbi. Mi chamocha. Mi chamocha. Ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha. Nedar b'kodesh norah. Tehilot. Oseh. Page 161. We ask
160.
Oh, thank you. 160. I was close. We ask for God to spread a shelter of peace around all of us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Ve'ha'amidenu shomrenu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, oh Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, oh Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
As we approach the Amidah, the set of prayers in which we evoke our ancestors and simultaneously consider the future that we want to have, we notice questions within ourselves. I invite all of us to take these moments to look within and acknowledge what questions have arisen within us. Maybe from the music, maybe from the words, maybe from the space. We rise on page 164 for Amidah.
שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני. Open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You take a few moments for our own personal prayers, using the words in the books or those in your heart. When you're finished with your prayers, I invite you to have a seat.
Make of us a house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people. In wholeness and in love. Make of us a house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people. In wholeness and in love. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon Lecho Shalom. Ki ata melech Adon Lecho Shalom. Lecho Shalom. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol tachoshav b'shlomecha b'shlomecha. Make of us a house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people. In wholeness and in love. Make of us a house for all people. A house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people. In wholeness and in love. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
As we gather and are in that house, as we gather in hope and are surrounded by peace, we cry to God. We know that there are those in that house, in our home, in our community, who are in need of healing, of mind, of body, of spirit, who could use some love, some support, some strength, and our prayers at this moment. As we turn to Misher Berach, are there names that you wish to bring forth into this community for healing?
And if you're joining us remotely and you're not in the room, we'll invite you to say the name out loud wherever you are, or type it into the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, we lift up those names too.
In our community, we're thinking of Israel Avraham Ben Hia Rachel, Marta Adams, Matthew Burstein, Frida Easton, Steve Elliott, Jackie Fuchs, Lanny Gans, Jeff Helfand, David Hidalgo, Peter Hort, Penny Castley, Natalie Kellner, Phyllis Kamansky, Sheldon Manspieser, Don Matthews, Barbara Nash, Stephen Newworth, Ruth Ocean, Harry Picard, Carol Randall, Robbie Regano, Deborah Lynn Ross, Sandy Schenker, Kathy Soroka, Eric Stitzkin, Esther Stone, Giotto Tamakuwala, Joan Wetzler, Yocheved Sarah Bat Etel, Moshe Yaakov Ben Yocheved. If you've shared a name out loud, if you've typed a name into a chat, if you hold a name in your heart, this Mishaberach is for them all. Page 371.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor Havracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor Havracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Can I have a cookie? I promise to go clean up my room right after I eat it. I'm really sorry I hurt your feelings. I promise not to do it again. How often do we make promises? Every few days or so, it seems. But so often when we make those promises, we make them knowing we will break them, or at least knowing that they're a little flexible. In Judaism, vows or promises are abundant. There are vows when we promise God not to do something, like to not speak falsely about others, and those when we agree to do something, like keeping Shabbat. There's the vow of the Nazirite, promising oneself to God in exchange for not cutting one's hair, nor drinking wine, nor being around the dead. There's the vow of marriage, which the rabbis feel very strongly about, outlining all the people we cannot marry, as well as what one must specifically do for their partner. So many vows. So let's learn about a few of them. Near the end of Deuteronomy, in what we'll read around the world this weekend, we learn that making a vow is so important. And we read, when you make a vow to Adonai your God, do not put off fulfilling it, for Adonai your God will require it of you. And if you haven't done it, you will incur guilt. Whereas you incur no guilt if you refrain from vowing. You must fulfill what has crossed your lips and perform what you have voluntarily vowed to Adonai your God, having made the promise with your own mouth. God clearly wants to make sure we're aware that when we make a vow, we have an obligation to keep it. And there are other vows. In just a few short weeks, we will annul all our promises made in the coming year. When we pray the words of Kol Nidre on Erev Yom Kippur, invoking that haunting melody, we're actually telling God not to hold us responsible for what we might do. Now, that seems a little bit extreme. We aren't necessarily saying that we shouldn't be held to our words, but rather, we're intimating that if we happen to not fulfill our vows, we don't want to incur divine punishment. I can get behind that. Yet, how do we reconcile these two different statements, these two different kinds of vows? How do we recognize this statement, these different ways of getting rid of vows, with the Torah statement, which holds so much more weight in Jewish tradition because it's older, telling us how important vows are? Well, we have to consider what kind of vows we're talking about. Essentially, only certain vows can be nullified on Yom Kippur. 3 kinds. The first is those which we take voluntarily, like I promise to always bring my husband chocolate cake on Shabbat. Sorry, Noah, I'm not promising that. If we choose to take on these non-mitzvah vows, we're clear to annul it. We're not held to them. There are also those we agreed to do indefinitely. I promise I'm going to journal every day. I'm going to work out every day. Whatever it might be, we don't have to be held to them. And the third is our promise to give tzedakah, because we can't determine when we'll do it, and we don't know our own fiscal situation, so we're not held accountable for that. Essentially, minus tzedakah, when a vow relates to a mitzvah, we can't annul it. God wants to make sure we've followed through on what we've promised. So when it relates to a voluntary agreement, we're good to go. Kol Nidre annuls our vows. We have another type of vow, which also can't be annulled on Yom Kippur, which someone here took this morning, and we want to honor this evening. This was a vow of commitment to Am Yisrael, the people of Israel. Amy Kelly participated in her Beit Din, her rabbinic court, with your 3 rabbis. And then she went into the mikveh, the ritual bath, to certify that she is indeed a member of the Jewish community. Her decision came from much studying and emotional discussions, which led her here in a moment to stand before you today. Amy has vowed to be a part of the Jewish people, to live a Jewish life and have a Jewish house. It is one of the most sacred vows one can take, and we honor Amy for doing it. Often, when vows are stated in the Torah, they are made and then people move on with their lives. For us today, we recognize that making a vow is much more substantial and needs to be attended to with much more weight. In fact, Amy told us this morning that ritualizing or sanctifying time is one of the most powerful things about Judaism, and that's what we're about to do. Tonight, we're going to help her take her rightful place within Judaism, and you are all helping her arrive at that moment. Those of you here and those of you on the live stream. Amy will take Torah in her arms with all the vows and laws and stories of her people to demonstrate that this scroll is now hers. She commits to keep learning from it, challenging it, teaching it, as our Jewish ancestors have done for generations. And as she holds the sacred scroll, all of us together will recite Shema, our collective vow that God is one and ours. We do this to recognize that although Amy will hold the Torah, she represents each of our individual commitments to Torah, to live out those values in each of our lives. In this way, Amy cements her vows as we will read tomorrow in Deuteronomy. Not a vow that can be nullified in a few weeks, but one that we will hold for generations to come. May we too, in this season of renewal, continue to commit to, abide by, and create new vows. So Amy, I'm going to invite you up before our ark. I'm going to invite everyone to rise as we take our Torah out. The This is the scroll of our people, and now I hand it to you. Take your place.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Amy, we're now going to offer you the oldest words in this scroll, one of our oldest prayers, the priestly blessing.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. We sing. Ken yehi ratzon. Ken yehi ratzon. May it be so. Ken yehi ratzon.
Amy, may God bless you and keep you always.
Ya'er Adonai panav eilecha v'yechuneka. Ken yehi ratzon. Ken yehi ratzon.
May wonder shine upon you, and may you find wonder in all that you see.
Yisa Adonai panav eilecha ve'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, shalom. Ken yehi ratzon. Ken yehi ratzon.
Amy, welcome. And may from this day forward you be accompanied in your home, in your heart, in our world by God's abiding blessing of peace. Ken yehi ratzon. May it be so.
We continue with Aleinu.
My bad.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומורדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. When a loved one passes, we may take a vow to always remember them, to always keep in mind or in our hearts the lessons they taught us. Perhaps to always come here on the anniversary of their passing on their yahrzeit. And so We fulfill this vow in so many different ways tonight, as we have in years gone by, and as we will in the years that stretch into the future. And this evening, if there is anyone here observing Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days after the passing, the loss of a loved one, we would invite you to rise at this time and to share the name of your loved one aloud. So too, if anyone is here observing a yortzeit, the anniversary of the passing of a loved one, we invite you to rise at this time and to share the name of your loved one aloud. As a congregation, on this Shabbat, we remember Mae Beckhoff, Jason Bernstein, Brooke Burrows, Morris Brownstein, Arthur Dinitz, Adele Fisher, Ethel Gans, Eleanor Henkoff, Jeffrey Infusino, Edward Israel, Joseph Jasper, Philip Miller, Elsa Nad, Francis Nairn, Gerald Perlman, Harriet Raffel, Frida Reinheimer, Gustav Rich, Carolyn Rothenberg, Hildegard Schein, John Philip Schluckabeer, Audrey Shergin, Annie Schwartz, Helene Seidel, Herbert Spira, Ernest Strauss, Stephen Rubin, Pauline Walkoff, and Maureen Whiteman-Zlatkin. We say Zichronam Livracha, and we rise as one congregation in sympathy and in fellowship for all those whom we have loved and lost, and all those who are in mourning on this evening. Turning to page 598 for these words of Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah v'rach le'lam u'lamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the Holy One of Blessing, who creates harmony in the heavens above, bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all humanity. And we say together, Amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Well, friends, it's such a pleasure to be together on this Shabbat, kind of our first Shabbat of our program year, of the academic year, back into our sanctuary after spending the summer out of doors. It's a special feeling to be back in this, even though we say that, like, of course, like the lawn is our sacred space and the beach is our sacred space. There's something unique and special about this sacred space, of course. We invite you to join us on Sunday. Each and every one of you, there's something for you at Shalom Fest, which is our community-wide sort of welcome back celebration Sunday, all outdoors here at Temple Israel from 11 to 1. On Tuesday evening, I'll be heading an event through Connect, our interfaith congregation-based community organizing social justice work. That event will be both in person at Community Baptist Church in New Haven and online via Zoom, so you can participate either way. And then the following week, we'll have, of course, Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, here on our bima in conversation with myself and Rabbi Jeremy Wiederhorn of TCS here in Westport. Sure to be a very special evening for all.
And
And
For Shalom Fest, if you or people you love are Kesher age, so between the ages of kindergarten and 7th grade, we'll say, come early at 10 a.m. We have our Kesher kickoff, our learning program kickoff for the year. We can't wait to have you there. I know there's a men's group event on
Wednesday night.
So we have so many amazing opportunities for connection and community. Check out all of our events online. We'd love to see you at all of them.
page 123, a little sweetness for Shabbat. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho ve'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reheshit, ki hu yom techila למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Nikadesh Hashabbat L'chaim. Yes, I'll bring the challah too. Everyone can participate. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Yeah, just grab a little piece.
Come, whoever you are, come.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.